Going on, everybody? Doug here, one of the host, producers, and creators of the Genre of Your Life podcast, here with another review roundup episode for you all this week. Like I said the other day, I have 2 episodes for you all this week to hold you over until the boys and I are back next week with a full episode of the podcast. Again, forgive me, I'm traveling this week to a family wedding out east. So again, I've been busy with work stuff and screenings and kind of other extracurricular activities, I would say, but I wanted to make sure to get this out for you all as I'm traveling this week. But again, lucky you got 2 episodes for the price of 1, the price of 0, I should say, because we will not be charging you for that on this week's kind of podcast feed. On this week's review right episode, I have my reviews of The Drama and, of course, You, Me, and Tuscany. As always, on brand theme of these review episodes. I'm laughing because 2 wildly, and I mean wildly different movies. Again, that's what we do here. We do here on this review episode. 2 wildly different movies to review for you all. Movies that I'm really intrigued to review for you all. For some very interesting reasons. But yeah, it's one of the movies you probably know by now. The Drama is causing a lot of divisiveness, I would say, and a lot of conversation, and it will be spoiler free, don't get me wrong, and I definitely want to have hopefully do a spoiler discussion either with the guys or definitely have one for sure, because there's a lot to unpack with this movie. But of course, in the meantime, you can find this podcast on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Amazon, again, your favorite podcast platform of choice. Of course, we have a full video show on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. When you're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, don't be shy, don't be a stranger. Your feedback means the world to us. So leave us a review, comment, rate, subscribe, review us. We want to hear from you guys. Of course, your feedback means the world to us. Neutral, negative, positive, we will take it. We're told not to read the comments or reviews. Trust me, we do, because your feedback really is a big part of this community and this show that we've built. So again, don't be shy, don't be a stranger, don't be a lurker. Share with your fellow movie fan, family, friends, shrink, teacher, whatever, coworker, doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter, because again, getting the word out for us, of course, means a lot to us. And as always, we still have our goal of getting 1,000 subs on YouTube very shortly. I think we're still 15 away. I think we're at 985, guys. It would be huge if we can get this 1,000 before the summer starts. For us, it's a big milestone for us in terms of kind of just like accomplishments, but also where we are, where we're going with the show, and where we want to take it. Of course, also that means more opportunities for us to do more coverage and more screenings and more festivals, of course, more interview stuff. So again, that does help us out a lot. And of course, we still have our ongoing Apple Podcast goal of 200 Apple Podcast ratings. So again, 2 ongoing goals, but we do need your help no matter what, because you have gotten us here this far, and we still need your help more than ever to keep growing the show and keep doing this podcast. So thank you all for just all the support you've given us, all the love you've shown over the years. It truly means a lot to us here, and of course, you are the reason why the show is so special. So thank you all so much. Alrighty, folks, moving into right away is The Drama, which is again A24's new movie, and I gotta say A24 has been kind of picking up the slack, if you ask me. I feel like they've been kind of like so the past couple of years, but I think this year and last year they've been kind of showing that they're getting back on track. But The Drama is one that I didn't expect to have all this quote unquote controversy, but also kind of just like divisiveness behind it. Because when the first trailer came out, I think it was around the time Marty Supreme was coming out. I'm like, oh, it's kind of like a drama, rom-com, whatever. No. As the more the movie coming out, people were saying, "Oh, you don't know what the drama is? Do you know the spoiler or twist?" And I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And I'm not gonna tell you right now, because guys, it's gonna be hard to review this movie as a non-spoiler, but like I have to do it for your own sanity. I would avoid all the marketing, all the trailers, avoid all discussions, because again, it's out there now, so you will definitely know what this big reveal twist is. That movie's been really clever with the marketing and not telling you, not showing you. But if you don't know, The Drama follows a happily engaged couple get put to the test when an unexpected revelation sends their wedding week off the rails. It's a good way to put it, because again, the less you know, the better. And I'm really glad that going into this, I didn't know what the twist was or the reveal was, and it's the way you should be. Man, this movie made me feel so anxious. Like it really did. I was because again when I was waiting, I was like, "Hey, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's this like? What is this reveal gonna be?" And when it hits, you're like, "Ew!" You're like, "Hold up now." And then once it's revealed, I mean, it doubles down on what this is, and you're like, "Oh, this is about this." Oh man, but it just sends this couple into I don't think turmoil, but like it tests them a lot. This movie though is the legit definition of how well do you truly know somebody. That could be a romantic partner, that could be a friend, that could be a family member, a friend, whatever. I mean, really, do you really know that person that well? And this movie also asks a big moral question of what would you do if you were in this situation? And I'm not gonna say who or what, of course, but the whole movie it keeps asking you, what would you do if you were this person? What would you do? How would you feel about this? How would you react? But again, you think you're with someone for so many years, and you think that you know every little thing about them, all their deepest, darkest secrets, and then one day you hear something, you're like, wait, what now? Wait, excuse me? And this movie does not shy away from that kind of like idea and that conversation, really. And you know, as someone who's been with who has dated in the past, who's been in love in the past, it's you know you want to be as open as possible, but there are things you I mean I again can't speak too much on experience, but there are things you don't tell someone right away, but over time I think you do get comfortable with them and you do tell them like, hey, I did this before, or I did that, whatever. But when it's a huge thing, it's kind of hard not to keep that, it's hard to keep that away from them. And when it's revealed, you're just like, oh man. And I kept thinking after the movie, I was like, I don't know what I would do. I would feel a certain way for sure, but how everyone reacts around me and it's my own action. It's like, yes, it's people are allowed to react the way they are, way they feel, and it's you know it could be a reaction to many things. And but when this what the movie though does not shy away from just like the destructive nature someone can go through after something's been revealed to them, that kind of like makes you question your own sanity, your own views, your own morality. You're like, oh boy. Um, but man, starting off though, Zendaya and Robert Pattinson in this are terrific. I mean, really terrific. And again, I do like seeing actors who know who are not not are strangers up to the big genre stuff, of course, or the big spectacle stuff. Both of them now have been part of it, whether it's Spider-Man and Dune for Zendaya, now Batman and Twilight and Tenet, even the Odyssey and Dune now for Robert Pattinson as well. But to me, though, this movie really is a showcase for them and a way for them to kind of show how so they flex their dramatic chops and dramatic skills as an actor. And this movie does not is a perfect showcase of how these two of our hottest actors working today. And I've always been a Robert Pattinson fan. Even like I was a Twilight fan, but like I don't think he was a bad actor. And I was like, this guy's pretty good actually. And then more people saw it with with Good Time and Tenet, and of course the Batman and a lot of other movies too. Don't get me wrong, but I think Robert Pattinson really is one of our best working actors today, as is Zendaya. And I think Zendaya grew on me too, because I feel like in the first Spider-Man movie, I was like, who's this character she's kind of playing? It's kind of like, oh, I'm too cool for school, whatever. I'm like, I don't know about that. But she's really proven to me to be an actress now. Euphoria, and the Dune movies and Challengers, especially Challengers. Like I was like, wow, this girl can really do some serious acting, and putting them together, I think was a genius move, because again, they're two of our most sought out actors right now with a lot of star power, and are going to be the face or the kind of the faces of their acting generation as we speak. But they have really just terrific but also bizarre chemistry, and I wish I could tell you why it's bizarre, but their chemistry is there, but it is some of the most bizarre and batshit chemistry I've seen in a movie in quite a while, and I will stand by that to the end of time. But both of them just really they had to do some like really really serious acting here. Is just like, you're like, whoa. And okay, QR code. And they again, and this is why I think A24 this is the kind of movie that I think really kind of shines for 2024 because again you're letting your actors kind of to showcase how talented they are, how much they can really carry a script and this kind of material, and how heavy it is, and they both do it with such ease and just such like, just like really in awe of again of their top of their craft, of course, but what they go through, and you sit there and you're like, what the hell is going to happen? And the whole movie, though, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I was so anxious, and like, I just kept thinking of like, okay, well, what's gonna happen? How's this gonna react? How is this person gonna do this? And you're sitting there with kind of uncomfortableness too of like, what is gonna happen? And I was really intrigued because I'm just like, how is this going to be resolved? What's going to be the outcome of this? Like, actions do have consequences, and it's thing of like, well, if but also you have all this, you question your morals, but you take that and you add the chaos of wedding planning and finalizing wedding stuff, whether it's photos and the menu and the DJ and I mean all that, whatever. Like seriously though, like it's already an anxious movie, but then you really factor the real life kind of just like ups and downs of wedding planning, especially all the stress that it comes with, and you just mix them together, you just feel like what is going to happen. And man, I just was feeling so uncomfortable at times where I was like, okay, don't do that. Oh no, please don't do that. Or oh no, 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 no. And you're just like, it's you had this like visceral reaction. And Ari Aster, who produced this, Ari Aster is now known for House of Hereditary, Midsummer, Beau Was Afraid, and Eddington. Really makes movies that make you feel uncomfortable. And also this has definitely a Safdie brothers touch to it, if you know them from Good Time, Uncle Gems, Marty Supreme. Like they, I think, to me, are masters of making you feel like you're trapped, and you get like, how would you react to this? Don't do that. You have this kind of visceral reaction of watching a movie like this. And again, I was also the only one in the theater watching this yesterday, the other day, and I was just like, oh man. And I think I probably would have liked this movie to see with a crowd, of course, but just timing and schedule wise, I was like, okay, this is only works for me. But I mean, maybe it was a good thing I was the only person in the theater, because I was yelling, oh hell no, oh hell no, oh hell no, or oh nope, nope, nope. I had like a legit, I was like speaking to the in the theater. I was like, okay, I'm glad I'm the only person here, because just how this movie had a reaction out of me in different parts where I was like, oh no, don't do that, please don't do that. But again, I think it's what good filmmaking should be. Have a really you have a definitely strong reaction to the material that you're seeing. And the supporting cast in this is really good. Also, I'm a big Haim fan, the band Haim. Alana Haim in this is, I mean, she's a scene stealer. And when you see it, you'll see. You're like, oh yeah, she steals the scene. Also, I'm going to butcher his name because I see him in a lot of stuff. Mamadou Athie, who I been in a lot of stuff over the years. Terrific actor, really so. I remember seeing him. I think he was in the Front Runner, I want to say. I think it was with Jason Reitman, and it was Jason Reitman directed, and it was Paul Rudd, Hugh Jackman. It was him, AJ Parker. Great actor, and I see him in small things here and there. Some not so good things, some like decent things. He plays kind of like this, like really like he has this charm to him. I'm really like captivated by him as an actor, and his role, like because he's kind of like you're kind of as the audience kind of like. You're kind of on his perspective, because you're like, how do you react to this? How, when you're put in the situation, what would you do, and how would you react to this? But a lot of Haim in this, her character really, you question her too. You question her like, what are you doing? Like, what would you do if that was your wife as well, or whatever? And the reaction she gets out of this movie too. You're like, oh man. But again, I think she was perfectly casted too, because just her reaction to things and her reaction to the big twist reveal, you're like, yeah, she's in her right to feel this way. And you just see how she kind of just like, oh boy. But I think with the supporting cast in this really also adds to Robert Pattinson and Zendaya's performance as well. So I think shout out to the supporting cast in this, because again, they add a lot to it. They add a lot of depth. They also add a lot of morality and a different perspective too, of like, you can see this perspective, that perspective, and that's kind of just also good writing. And the director writer of this is Christopher Borgilli. not. Oh, he did do Dream Scenario. I fucking knew it. Sorry for my language. I was like, wow, it had a Dream Scenario vibe to it, and I was not a fan of Dream Scenario. That makes so much sense now. And I was like, I was getting a Dream Scenario vibe, and I was like, I wanted to love that movie, and I was really disappointed. This is that makes a lot of sense now that this guy did Dream Scenario in this movie. Okay, I think this movie is definitely better than Dream Scenario. Personally, I would not watch Dream Scenario probably ever again. And this movie, though, I'll be honest, I probably won't watch it anytime soon either, because this movie, like I said, just the how anxious felt of this movie. Oh man, I mean, just the anxiety this movie gave me. Like most A24 movies tend to give me anxiety, and this movie did not shy away from making me feel just so extremely on edge and anxious and uncomfortable. But it's gonna cause a lot of, I think, a lot of divisiveness, a lot of conversation. But I'm really intrigued by the whole discourse around this movie. Don't get me wrong. So I'm like, I want to see the conversations this movie's is gonna create, and people talking about it. And I don't know. It's a trip. It's a trip, and I've seen it now a couple of days later. I'm still thinking about it, and just of like, again, I keep thinking, what would I do? What would I do if that was me? Whatever. But yeah, but I do give props to A24 for not revealing what what the twist is. Because I think you definitely should go in movies like this blind. I would recommend that too. But also too, I think also as a testament to other studios and companies, you don't need to put every plot point, every detail into the trailers, because again, I think sometimes less is better, and this movie definitely proves that. With that said, though, I got to give this movie probably a 7 out of 10. I think it definitely drags a bit at times where you're kind of like, okay, what's going on with it? And just, I can't say I enjoy this movie, because like I felt a certain way that I still feel a couple of days later, where I was like, I don't know how I don't feel good about this. But I do admire the filmmaking. It's shot on location. Again, shot on location. Photography is great. They use this really cool film grain filter that they add to it, that when you see it, you'll see it. But really, that you're watching because of Zendaya's masterful performance. You're watching because of Robert Pattinson's masterful performance. And again, this is a showcase of just like how great acting can be in the modern day filmmaking era and world that we're in. So yeah, I'll give Drama a 7 out of 10. But I mean, this probably definitely dissect this a bit more and sit this a bit more too. But hopefully we have a full-on spoiler discussion about this hopefully on the podcast soon, because I would really love to know what Moses and Nick think about this, and all you think too. So let us know in the comment section below on YouTube, or of course the review section on the Spotify or Apple Podcast feed. But yeah, it's a movie that I just felt like I'm still thinking about it. I still feel like the anxiety from it. But hey, I think it's also a sign of good filmmaking. Moving on to a movie that's much, much lighter in terms of romance, and that is You, Me, and Tuscany. A movie that, I'll be honest, like the trailers didn't sell me on this. I was like, okay, like this looks kind of like, cheesy rom. Yeah, also I love rom-coms, but definitely cheesy rom-coms. And I'm like, okay. But You, Me, and Tuscany. Anna impulsively jets up to Tuscany, Italy, to stay at a stranger's villa without permission. Caught inside the house by the man's mother, she convinces the woman that she's his fiancée. That little lie soon becomes a big problem when Anna develops a growing attraction to the stranger's handsome cousin. That should have really been in the description. I feel like it kind of now ruins it. Again, trailers definitely don't. I think the trailer was kind of I think this movie is much better than the trailer for sure, and I'll stand by it, because I think the trailer was kind of corny, kind of goofy, and I'm like, all right, whatever, sure. But having watched this, I think the movie definitely is a good old-fashioned rom-com. And I'll say this, right when the movie ended, I was like, damn, this movie made me want to book a flight to Italy immediately, because I'm like, I want to go here now. I want to try the food. I want to have authentic Italian food, and see the vineyard, see the winery, see all the scenery. I'm like, hey, this movie's going to do great. I mean, if the movie is a success, it's going to do great numbers for Italy tourism and Tuscany tourism. But again, though, does this reinvent the genre or the game of rom-coms or whatever? Not at all. The movie definitely is predictable, formulaic, as a lot of these movies in this genre tend to be. But it is charming. It is cute. Halle Bailey and Regé Jean Page always butcher his name too. I feel so bad whenever I do. I know he's a really good actor and also a very charming dude. Yeah, Roger Jean Page, who again Bridgerton. Those two really have great chemistry. Yeah, it's cute. It's against the will they won't they type of rom com of like, oh, it's gonna happen. But I mean, again, it's you if you've seen this movie before a lot. You've seen the kind of type of the tropes and kind of like the typical rom com trope and the typical okay, like it's gonna happen this whatever, the meet cute and everything, like with the whatever. But but it is fun to watch, and the comedy definitely. I think definitely the balance, the comedy and romance definitely balance each other very well in this, as a good rom com should. And there was times when the comedy had me chuckling out loud, like a lot. Like I'm laughing. I caught myself laughing. This is actually really funny, more than I thought I was going to laugh at this. But really, though, the movie, I think the supporting cast in this really steals the show. Whether it's Marco Calvini, Aziza Scott, Isabella Ferrari. I mean, really though, the supporting cast in this is really, I mean, they steal the show. And this movie, I think, also reminded me a lot of My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where like kind of like the supporting cast kind of like steals the show and add a lot to the depth of the movie, a lot of like the humanity and kind of like the emotional aspects and the arcs of the movie. And two, again, they casted like unknown actors, like they casted like Timothée Chalamet, like okay, really seriously, or they would have casted some like big names. You'd been like, oh, okay, I get it, whatever. But I do like that they casted like really like authentic Italian actors too. But they surround Roger Jean Page and Halle Berry with like newcomers and not well-known actors, because it makes it feel more real and more believable, and I think you feel more invested with the emotional aspect and the romance part of it all. And again, supporting cast really steals. There's some lines that had me like busting out loud laughing. I was like, that was funny, that was funny, that was funny. And I know I'm a sucker for a good rom-com, and like I said, when the trailers were showing for this, I was like, this looks kind of bad. This is kind of like, I don't want to watch this. And I was going to go to the screening because I was just like, I don't know if I want to like spend my Tuesday night watching this, even though it is my job as a critic, as a reviewer, as a podcaster to watch everything and anything. But it's funny. It is funny. It's definitely charming. And also the scenery is just beautiful. And again, I love when again movies like this really take advantage of the scenery and using real life locations and real sets being built, because again, it feels more real. Like, this was like supposed to be Italy and it was shot in Vancouver or Atlanta. You'd be like, that ain't no Italy. Like, come on now. Like, who you fooling? Who you bullshitting? And Halle Bailey has this kind of like really kind of like unique charm to her. Not unique, but like I feel like this kind of that old fashioned like Hollywood movie star charm to her that we don't see a lot in actors or actresses anymore. But she's just really kind of this witty, really obviously beautiful, but just really a lot of innocence to her, and she has this really charm to her that you're rooting for her no matter what. Just even though she's making the really shitty decision to lie to this family and keep going on with the lie, you're like, don't lie, be honest, whatever. But you can't help be swept by her charm as well as Roger Jean Page's charm too, because you're charmed by both of them, and just like how they handle themselves, how they move, and how they kind of just like how they move and how they do believe in themselves despite all the things that kind of that gone in their life and their characters' lives. But yeah, it definitely. I mean, people were cheering and going crazy for this movie. I think in the screening that we saw it in, and it was just funny. It was funny, but also I give props to Will Packer, who produced this. Girls Trip, Ride Along, Think Like a Man. I mean, great producer, of course, but I give props to him and Universal for really believing in this movie to make it a theatrical release. This easily could have been a Netflix streaming movie, a Prime, Hulu movie, but I think they also know that there's an empty market now in the movie going experience, that like we're missing rom-coms, we're missing comedies overall in general. So the fact that this movie was made for the big screen for an audience, I give them all the props in the world, because again, we just need more rom-coms back in the screens. I feel like it's just that era of rom-coms were so huge in the 2000s and 90s and early 2010s, and there's been a missing. I mean, we're missing it. And I think Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell definitely help start to bring it back. And I do think that you don't have to like budget these movies too much. budget it modestly, give it a decent budget, and I think you market it well. Don't put all the good jokes in the trailer, and just you have a good game plan right there. I do think there were some jokes that were in the trailer where I was like, okay, I'm glad you didn't put this in the trailer. I'm glad you didn't put this in the trailer. But it's a really fun time in the movies. It's feel good. I think right now we're all going through so much in our lives right now. The world is in a lot of chaos in the world right now, a lot of negativity in the world, but you want to go to the movies, kind of escape for a little bit and have a good time. And first off, this movie made me so hungry. I went right from work, from the office, right from work to the movie, and I didn't eat beforehand or in between, and I was so hungry. And they showed some like really good food that they're cooking in the movie, and I'm like, damn, I'm hungry. But I also want to go to Italy. But after the movie ended, I was like, damn, I want some Italian food, but I know it won't be as good as what I saw in this movie. But so I would not recommend watching this on an empty stomach or hungry. Definitely get a good snack while watching, or definitely eat a meal before watching this too. But yeah, charming, goofy, witty, silly, although predictable and formulaic. But I surprisingly had a good time with this movie, much more than I thought it was going to be. And I like being surprised in movies. I really do, because I feel like, you know what, it just when I have like my doubts and I'm proven wrong, I love being proven wrong about stuff, especially movies. And this movie definitely did that. So I'd give You, Me, and Tuscany a solid another 7 out of 10. So look at that, 2 movies in the same review Roundup episode with the same score of a solid 7 out of 10. And I hope this movie does well enough that we get to see more rom-coms and more Will Packer produced movies on the big screen too. I feel like the theaters need movies like this to remind you that, hey, these movies can still exist for the big screen, designed for an audience. And again, comedies, the theatrical experience needs comedies, it needs rom-coms, and the rom-coms need the theatrical experience. It's a hand-in-hand thing, and this movie definitely worked, and I had a good time with it. And I love the whole authentic approach they had with it, with shooting it in Italy, and just making it fun and real, and just really feel good. So I was caught off guard by that, but in a good way. But hey, that is this week's review Roundup episodes, my friend. Hope you all have a great week. Again, with this movie coming out too, there's so much, guys. Seriously, so much around the theaters. Just do your job. Support your local cinema. Support the movie-going experience. There's so much right now. Movies have never been more back, and this is only just still Q1 of just an amazing year I think we have planned for us for the movies. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening to me ramble of all things movies, and hopefully I give you some good pointers of what you go see. Because there's a lot right now. So get that Regal pass, get that AMC A-list pass, because again, there's so much for you to check out in little time. But having those limited passes and Regal Limited and AMC A-list goes a long way from personal experience. But thanks again, guys. Again, stay well, stay safe, and as always, you already know this, we will see you all at the movies.